Hello and welcome to Hoteliers Voice, Season 5, Evolving with Technology with Alessandra Leoni. We'll be exploring career progression and if the industry is still open to new starters, why technology is so important to commercial and operational success, 5 important aspects to tech procurement, and the changes in hotel workforce. Until recently, Alessandra Leoni was a head of commercial at resident hotels, as well as a mid-scale brands, sleepers, and city rooms, leading the commercial and IT departments. Alessandra held operational and commercial positions and various hotel operation roles in Italy, USA, and the UK. She's recognized for her leadership skills and ability to adapt commercial models with a focus on guest reputation. Through collaborative, inclusive, and driven strategies, she successfully enhances the business, guest experience, and team development. Today, Alessandra Leoni will explain why it's important that the hotel tech stack is ready to evolve, to offer resilience and flexibility to hoteliers.
Hoteliers Voice from Travel Market Life, exploring opportunity in hospitality with Ryan Haynes. Hear from the people making a difference, from revenue to operations, marketing to digitalization. Learn the thinking behind their decisions.
So joining me now is Alessandra. Alessandra, thank you ever so much for joining us today. You have had quite an illustrious career so far, and you've spent quite a bit of time at The Resident, where you've climbed so many different aspects of the career ladder there. I'd love you to kick off, really, and tell us about your career progression.
Well, hello, Ryan, and thank you for having me. Yes, it's been quite a journey. Was at Resident Hotels for 13 years over various roles, starting on the front line as a reception manager, so dealing with the day-to-day operation and be responsible for the guest experience as well as the reservation and in support of the entire operation. From there, I climbed up to deputy GM and GM, and then I decided to divert my career into what I came to love, which was the revenue department and the numbers and the data, and started contributing from that perspective. And then over the years, we expanded, the company grew, more hotels, more brands, and until recently was head of operations and IT, supporting the brands within the portfolio, the entire hotels, and responsible for the commercial team, which includes revenue, sales, marketing, and as well as the IT department and all the systems that allow a hotel to operate.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Quite a CV you have there then, as Alessandra. What did you see as were the key differentiators between sort of you being a GM and then stepping up to the head office to centralize and manage everything across a portfolio of brands? What was the big difference and shift in thinking you had to go through at that point?
I guess as a GM, you're always responsible for different work streams, so the entire operation, all the way, including the commercial activities. So was for me a natural transition into the commercial role, into the revenue and then commercial role. When I was GM, we were a much smaller group. There were 2 and then 3 hotels. So each of us GM were working collaboratively to the overall success of the 3 hotels. So, and then as we started growing, there was the need to diversify and having core skill set, focusing on the different work streams. So revenue I took on, and then I used to collaborate with the head of sales and the head of marketing. And then as we grew more and we acquired also the other brand, there was the need to have a position that manage the work stream, all the commercial work streams. So at that point, I was the natural choice, as well as I collected over the years the skill set necessary to do the job, because as a GM, that's what I was responsible for. And as the head of revenue, then I'm working together with my coworkers and colleagues, then I was in the best position to take ownership and responsibility for those work streams. So it's been quite a journey. I've learned a lot. I've given a lot. And the team that I have is absolutely stellar, and they are receiving great successes.
That's wonderful. I mean, do you think that this career path that you've been on is still open and available to new starters in the industry, or is it becoming more difficult for people to have opportunities of growth and development within the hotel industry?
It's definitely still available. It does require from entry level a different skill set that when I started the journey 25 some years ago. So the requirements were very different. The technologies were very different. There were fax machines and manual credit card machine. So nowadays with the internet and digital transformations that has come into effect in everyday's life, not just the hospitality industry, the job descriptions and the job roles have changed, but definitely the career progression is still there. The possibilities are there. It just takes very specialized and passion to work in the hospitality industry, because we're dealing with people alongside processes and admin work. So, but there is definitely a place for everybody to fit in within the different operational roles or more central role, whether it is from an IT perspective, from a commercial perspective, from a finance perspective. It has changed, it has transformed, but thanks to the evolution and the changes that have happened, not just in hospitality, but everywhere across many different sectors and industries.
Why is technology so important to the commercial and operational success in hotels?
Well, I like to divide these into two very different pillars, but they are equally, they have the same point of origin, whilst they deploy very different. One from a guest perspective, so the end user that will come ultimately and stay with you and consume the hotel stay. They want a journey that is very digital. They want to take with them the day-to-day technology that you use into their day-to-day life. I want to go into a hotel room and I want to stream my Netflix content from my phone. So I want to check in online. I don't want to have to come in and do things or fill manual pieces of papers or have to give you my credit card. I want a guest want as a user to have all those facilities readily available. So hotels have had to change that, the technology that they use to meet the guest needs. From a team's perspective, an employee perspective, and the person that the guest find at the desk greeting and making sure that that stay is amazing, it's unique individuals that like the interaction with the guest. In order to make it special, they want to spend time and get to know you as you walk in through the door as a guest. And they do not want to spend time collecting all these pieces of paper and information. So the technology has to support their journey as employees and team members as well. And nobody wants to sit in the back office anymore doing data entry or replying to fax machines. We have very young people through our teams, and they're like, what is a fax machine? So the technology has to change to support the journey.
I mean, we always talk so much about this guest experience and the guest journey and it all being digitalized. But of course, we can't expect staff coming in to be able to use these complex systems that we've had for the last 30 years. They have not been pleasant to work with anyway. But we're coming now, as you say, a new generation of people who expect very intuitive software and systems that they can just get on and do their job. So tell us from your perspective then, how you have seen tech changed that offers hoteliers much more choice and flexibility today.
There are a lot more platforms available to do one job. So there are a lot of PMSs, there are a lot of booking engines, a lot of messaging application. There is a lot more of hotels apps that you can download, and that's that hotel app versus the other hotel app or the other brand, etc. So all of these are readily available. And when we look just 10 years ago, when the first platform that deliver, we can build your own hotel app. Everybody was, how's this possible? Now it's expected. Now it's here, and you have a choice of many different vendors. So the choice for hoteliers and operators to choose is there, so which makes it a lot more approachable. There is a lot more information around it to make the right decision in selecting the right vendor for the needs that you have and the strategy that you want to roll out. It's all about cloud-based solution. It's about the cost. It's about the ease of the transformation and the application rollout through the properties. So there are a lot of many different factors that as operator we need to consider in order to select the best possible platform. However, what's very different is that there is so much choice nowadays that makes it competitive from a price perspective, from an innovation perspective. And that's what the biggest change that the industry is facing.
Now, what are the 5 things that hoteliers should be considering when it comes to tech procurement?
Definitely the very first one is define clear objectives. What's your strategy? What problem are you trying to fix? What gap are you trying to mitigate? And what are you trying to achieve? How are you going to measure success? All of those for me is the very first big one. Prioritize scalability and integration. So are you trying to fix this one problem, or what's the future, or be resilient for the future? And is your choices can be easily be integrated with anything else that you may want to need in the future. When you make your selection, assess the vendor reliability and level of support, especially considering the size of business that you have and how many resources do you have available and what skill set is available within your people. ROI and cost effectiveness, it's important because you put in place systems to either meet a need or to make your life more effective from a people perspective and from a guest perspective. And then you need to ensure that the technology you choose align with guest expectations and your sustainability goal as a business, as well as the guest present and future sustainability goals.
Wow, quite a list there.
Yes, sorry.
But some really important things, as you say, if you're going to develop and have that puzzle complete, you need to make sure that you're making the right decisions for the company and for what you're trying to achieve, rather than just throw any piece of technology in there. Now, Alessandra, thanks for all your insights today and sharing your experiences with us. And, it's really invaluable when, I guess, hoteliers are looking at that commercial and operational side and how it can be underpinned by the right technology. So your insights there are going to be certainly invaluable to anybody listening. Thank you ever so much for joining us here on Hoteliers Voice for Travel Market Life.
Thank you for having me, Ryan.
So that was Alessandra Leoni explaining why it's important that the hotel tech stack is ready to evolve and offer resilience and flexibility to hoteliers. She's part of Hoteliers Voice Season 5, as we look at exploring much more of the wider industry within hotels and accommodation providers. Check out all our other episodes in Season 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Hoteliers Voice on any of your podcast channels for Travel Market Life. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Ryan Haynes.
For more, go to Travel Market Life. The music sensation by Zach Nelson is reproduced under license from Storyblocks. Travel Market Life is a Haynes Marcoms digital marketing agency production, serving the travel and technology industries.